If your content feels like it's falling flat, if people scroll past it and don't comment and don't share, it might not be because it's bad. It might be because it's not emotional. And I don't mean dramatic, I mean meaningful or relatable, memorable. You don't need to be loud or outrageous to get engagement. You just need to make people feel something. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to create content that sparks real emotion and genuine engagement, even if you're over 40 and still getting the hang of this digital world. Stick around, because once you understand how to tap into your viewers' emotions, your content starts to connect, and that is when everything changes. Let's get something straight. Emotional content isn't about being over the top. It's about being human. And the good news, if you're over 40, like me, you have a huge advantage. You've lived, you've learned, you have real stories, real perspective, and probably a lot more to say than you think. But if your content isn't sparking emotion, it's probably not getting the engagement it deserves. That's what we're fixing today. Because once you know how to infuse your content with the right emotions, not only do people start to engage, they start to remember you. And when people remember you, they come back. They hit subscribe, they hit like, they share. Emotion builds connection, and connection builds community. Let's face it, we live in the scroll era. People fly by past dozens of posts and videos and reels without thinking twice. So how do you stop the scroll? You make them feel something. Emotion is what cuts through the noise. It's why we laugh at a funny reel, or cry at a heartfelt story, or save a post that speaks to us. We're not reacting to facts, we're reacting to feeling. And here's the best part. Emotional connection doesn't require a big following. It just requires intention. You can have 5 followers and still create content that makes someone pause and think, wow, that hit home. When you create with the goal of connection instead of just broadcasting, people notice that, and more importantly, they respond. If you're struggling to grow, the issue probably isn't reach, it's resonance, and that's something you can fix starting right now. Let's simplify things. There are 4 emotional triggers that consistently drive engagement. One is inspiration. That is content that lifts people up, gives hope, or encourages action. Another is nostalgia, especially powerful for people who are over 40. Shared memories, music, culture, all of those things can hit really hard. I know they do for me. A third is relatability. That makes people feel like it's them. That's so me, is the phrase that's going through their mind. If your content makes someone feel seen, they're likely to engage. And the fourth one is vulnerability. When you open up, that really works well at creating trust. When you're real, people tend to lean in. Of course, you don't have to use all 4, but even weaving in one of them can completely change how people respond. If you want more comments, more DMs, more shares, more emails, you need to spark feeling. Try this next time you post. Don't just ask, what do I want to say? Ask, what do I want someone to feel when they hear this? Because emotion is what moves people to action, and action is what grows your platform. By the way, here's a common concern I hear from creators over 40. Often I'll hear, I don't want to overshare. And that's totally fair. You don't need to put your whole life on display. But here's the truth. You can share emotionally without oversharing personally. You can talk about failure without naming names. You can reference a turning point without giving every detail. And there are ways to do it. For example, use phrases like, I used to struggle with this, or this was harder than I expected, or I wish I'd figured this out sooner. Statements like these invite people in without crossing those personal boundaries. And guess what? They still work because they're true. Authenticity doesn't mean being raw all the time. It means being real. people don't connect to perfection. They connect to honesty, to imperfection, and to effort. If you're being thoughtful and intentional and genuine, you're already on the right track. Now, I want to talk about storytelling, because if emotion is the spark, story really is the glue. You don't need a background in writing or a polished script. You just need to follow a fairly simple formula. Setup, struggle, solution. So for example, I remember the first time I tried to film a video and I had my notes and my camera, and I just completely froze. I almost quit right then. But I kept going, and now it's second nature to me, and that's it. That little arc creates a moment. It's not just about what you're teaching, it's about why it matters. And story is how you make that stick. Think back to the last post you remembered. Chances are it included a small story, even a sentence or two that gave it some heart. So try this. Every time you share a tip, add a story, even a tiny one, because stories build bridges, and bridges carry emotion. And here's a shift most people overlook. If you want engagement, are you engaging? Engagement isn't just about likes and comments, it's about conversation. Are you replying to people who comment? I try to reply to everybody. Are you starting a dialogue? Are you treating your audience like a community and not just a number? Here's a tip that works pretty well. Try ending your videos with questions like this. What's been your biggest challenge with this? Or have you ever felt the same way? Or what would you have done differently? That one extra line can double your comments. Why? Well, because you're inviting people to contribute, not just to consume. So remember that social media really isn't a billboard. It's more of a back and forth. It's social media. And the more you invite people into the conversation, the stronger your community becomes. Remember, it's not just about content that gets attention. That's step one for sure. But it's really about content that holds attention. And the way you do that is through making a good connection with your audience. I'll leave you with this. If you're over 40 and stepping into content creation on YouTube, don't underestimate the power of your perspective. You don't need viral tricks or trendy filters to succeed. What you need is emotional resonance. Your experience, that's value. Your stories, well, that's depth. And your voice, it matters. So next time you create something, ask yourself, what do I want someone to feel when they see this? Not how do I get views or what's trending right now, but how do I make someone pause and say, wow, that really meant something? Because when you focus on meaning, you get momentum. And when you connect emotionally, people stay and they engage and they remember and they come back. Now, if this resonated with you, I've got another video that breaks down how to improve that retention in your content so people stay from start to finish. And you can click here to watch that next and keep creating content that moves people, because when you do, they'll move with you. And if you want some ongoing support and motivation in a community of other 40+ YouTube creators, I've created a community for that, and there's a link in the description below. The first 100 members are going to be the founding members of the group. We're just getting started with this, and I look forward to everybody having an opportunity to learn from each other as we grow our channels. Remember, you've got this, and I'll see you in the next video.